One of the projects that really stood out to me was from 1973. This proposal by Ajit Bhattacharjee. He envisioned from Kolaba to Mahim a completely car-free zone. He said there should be no private cars in use in the island city. Everyone should travel by public transport. And I love how he argues for this scheme. One of the lines he says is, the basic sacrifice required of the affluent will be more in attitude rather than convenience. This was Ajit Bhattacharjee's imagination. I'm Robert Stevens. For the last 15 years, I've been living and working in Mumbai as an architect. My interests have also expanded to include collecting rare books and taking aerial photographs of the city. Bombay Imagined presents 200 unrealized projects.
The first thing that came to my mind was, this is a museum. You're navigating these rooms, or you're navigating a building, a city that could have been through that experience. The entire book narrative flows by chronology. That's the first thing. You have the name of the project, the creator of the project, the geography, which is the location, the typologies, and then within the text bit, it's the description, the footnotes, a pull quote, and a caption that supports the images that run through.
So one of the most subtle elements on the page is the footer, which acts as a matrix. It links you to a project before and a project after.
For me, one of the really interesting things about many of the propositions is they've been imagined by people who were not architects, who were not trying to impress an audience. They were just pitching something that they fully believed in. Oftentimes, they didn't even have the resources to create a visual to support what they were writing about and imagining. In this work with collaborators, we've given life to many of these proposals. We've created visual form that never existed.
The starting point for every project would always be Robert's sketches. Then I would make a quick mock-up of what would be the most prominent part of the view.
What Aniket would send first was the white render. And the jump from the white render to the final artwork, that's where the magic happens. More than 31 active offices, practices from around the world, foundations, libraries, and institutes contributed content. Personally, my favorite venue is the Maharashtra State Archives. It's an incredible repository that is waiting to be discovered and shared. I knew even 7 years ago when this started, I knew the final outcome would be something tangible, something that anyone could hold in their hand. The book is hardbound. It's about 7.5 inches tall by 11 inches wide. The cover is wrapped in cloth with a debossed title. The debossing is kind of a play on the idea of the imagined, that it exists, but it also doesn't exist. I think anyone with an interest in history, in art, in architecture, in urbanism, in the city, will be able to connect deeply with the content in this book.